remember that iconic moment from the Dynamite era? The atmosphere on set was already tense. All the crew and BTS members were ready, the cameras were set up, and the lighting was perfect. But in the midst of all the excitement, the door opened, and in came Jimin. A little late, but with a smile that seemed to lighten the mood. Namjoon, in his signature style, immediately greeted, "The star has arrived," which made everyone laugh. But before the laughter could completely subside, Jungkook, who had been watching him, dropped a line that made the moment even more unforgettable. "Do you think that just because you're cute, everything is forgiven?" This sentence sounded like a reprimand, but if you pay attention, there was something deeper behind it. This wasn't just a protest about being late. It was a veiled confession. Jungkook admitted that Jimin was cute, and this wasn't the first time he'd said it. However, this time, it was said with a mix of annoyance and affection, which made their interaction feel very Jikook. Jimin, holding a slice of plain bread with no spread on it, appeared relaxed and enjoying his breakfast. Jungkook approached, looked at the bread, and without hesitation said in a commanding tone, "Why didn't you put anything on it? Put butter on it." His tone was quite stern, but not outright angry. More like uncontrollable exasperation. Jimin's reaction? Completely calm. He simply stared at him and said, "Why are you angry?" As if to say, "I only eat plain bread, and it's none of anyone's business." But those of us watching know, this isn't just any bread. Jungkook could have taken another bread, but he wanted Jimin's and he wanted to eat it with him. A simple gesture that, for fans, holds so much meaning. Their comfort with each other is palpable. They can joke around, reprimand each other, and even slightly border each other around without making things tense. This is why even this small moment feels so special to ARMY. We cut to the first season of Voyage. The members are taking a leisurely stroll, enjoying the scenery. J-Hope asks incredulously, "Why is Jimin taking so long?" Jungkook, walking not far from Jimin, took a deep breath and said, "He drives me crazy." This sentence could be interpreted in two ways. First, it's frustration that Jimin often keeps them waiting. But on the other hand, doesn't "drives me crazy" also mean a sense of awe that makes the heart uneasy? ARMY began to wonder, was this a complaint or a confession? In fact, Jimin's tardiness has become an inside joke for BTS. They coined the phrase, "I was gymming today," to refer to someone who arrives late. This shows that their relationship is built on humor, understanding, and genuine affection. In the florist-themed episode of Run BTS, we saw another side of them. Jimin was tasked with making a flower arrangement inside a crystal ball. Namjoon said, "It's like in Serendipity," referring to the scene in the music video where Jimin emerges from the crystal ball. Jimin looked confused and asked, "What are you talking about?" Jungkook, who was always watching, immediately patted him gently with a leaf and said something like, "How come you don't remember?" Jimin's reaction, a mix of shock and confusion, was adorable. Jungkook, on the other hand, seems like someone who always remembers details about Jimin, even things Jimin himself forgets. Then there was a V Live moment that was no less interesting. Jimin suddenly said, "You know what, I'm leaving now," as he stood up from his chair. Jungkook immediately stopped, "Where are you going?" Then, with a knowing smile, he said, "Oh, you're leaving already? Well, I think I'll post this photo." It's unclear what the photo meant to Jimin, but one thing was clear, Jimin wasn't going. It was as if with just one sentence, Jungkook could change his mind. In another Voyage, while on a boat, Jimin and Jin were busy talking about dolphins. The wind suddenly blew Jimin's towel away, and the tour guide dove into the water to retrieve it. But ARMY's focus was on Jungkook calling out, "Jimire." His tone was protective, almost like a worried older brother. The moment on DNA was no less interesting. While watching the recording, Jungkook reprimanded, "Why are you flirting so much? I don't approve of this." While the other members laughed, Jungkook looked serious. This showed that he cared for Jimin in a different way, more protective, even a little possessive. And of course, there was the sweet interaction during the B album unboxing. Upon seeing a photo of Jimin with his shoulders bare, J-Hope complimented, "You look so good." Jungkook immediately responded by patting Jimin on the shoulder. It was simple, but for fans, it wasn't just a simple pat, it was a natural and authentic form of closeness. Beyond their personal interactions, their musical achievements are equally impressive. Jimin's song reached number 4 globally, number 7 in the US, number 87 in the UK, and number 1 in South Korea. Meanwhile, Jungkook's song Standing Next to You reached number 156 globally and number 9 in South Korea. All of this shows that, in addition to their warm and sweet relationship, the two are also hugely successful in their respective musical endeavors. And we, as ARMY, have a vital role to play in keeping them shining by continuing to support, listen to, and share their work. Because ultimately, every song, every smile, every joke, and every look between them are pieces of the story that unites us into one big family called ARMY. And so it is, of all the moments, both captured on camera and glimpsed, there is one common thread that always connects Jimin and Jungkook, a sense of comfort, a concern that isn't always expressed, and a look that often speaks louder than words. They can tease each other, they can criticize each other, they can even have a little argument over bread and butter, but beneath all that, there's a deeper feeling. A feeling that makes them know each other not just as colleagues, but as someone who's been there for every important moment in their lives. And perhaps, that's what makes us ARMYs never tire of watching their every interaction. Because we know, behind a simple joke, there's genuine warmth. Behind a brief glance, there's a meaning that only the two of them understand. The question is, how many more moments like this will we see in the future? And will all these puzzles ever be solved? Until then, we'll keep watching. Keep guessing. Keep cherishing every smile, every touch, every word, because for us, those moments are what make Jikook's story never-ending. And in the end, perhaps we'll never truly know all the secrets behind their relationship. But one thing's for sure, every moment they share, no matter how small, is a gift to us all. Because as long as Jimin and Jungkook continue to walk side by side, this story will always live on in our hearts forever.